Welcome back to Module 4 of this course, covering legal work. We will begin this module by exploring the concepts of policies and procedures. As an office administrator, when you go into the workplace, one of the first things you will be asked to do is arrange a meeting or coordinate a small event, administer finances, organize information, and so on. This could be a daunting task if you do not know what to do, yet planning, organizing, and coordinating of different tasks are easy to do once you know what the relevant procedures are. The purpose of this section is to give you an overview of policies and procedures in the workplace and how they can assist you in knowing what and how to perform your duties. Policies are guidelines or standards on how things should be carried out in the workplace, while procedures are the detailed explanation on how these things should be carried out in the workplace. There are various kinds of policies and procedures. It is usually standardized. In other words, management agrees on a template to use and the whole organization then uses the suggested format. This is done to ensure that everybody knows how and when to do things. Imagine if you're working for an organization with a staff complement of 150 people and nobody in your organization knew how to have their suppliers paid. This is why policies and procedures need to be in place. Most departments have their own policies and procedures. These policies and procedures relate to the departmental functions. These are often rolled out to the people in other departments in the organizations to ensure understanding. For example, in finance, there may be a certain way that we do payments to suppliers. Example, a catering company. A member of the department does a payment process policy and procedure, and then this is rolled out to the rest of the organization so they are aware of the step-by-step procedure on how to ensure that the caterers get paid on time. Policies and procedures help many employees in organizations to understand where to go and what to do in specific situations. We are now going to cover one of the important tasks surrounding work in the legal profession, the management of meetings. As an office administrator, one of the first things you will be asked to do is to arrange a meeting or coordinate a small event. This could be a daunting task if you do not know what to do. Yet planning and management of meetings and small events are easy to do once you know what the relevant procedures are. The purpose of this module is to give you an overview of the planning and conducting of meetings, as well as the coordinating of minor events, different types of meetings, the purpose of having a meeting, preparing for a meeting, roles and responsibilities of a successful meeting, what happens during and after the meeting, why do organizations hold meetings. Meetings are arranged so that people can get together to discuss relevant information on a particular business idea or project they are working on. For example, you will arrange a meeting with your supervisor or mentor to discuss what is expected of you. Setting up a meeting is a good way to discuss all of the issues and set out a plan to move the job forward so that the goals and actions are achieved in the most efficient manner. Meetings are a good way of accumulating a lot of different ideas and generating creative solutions. They are helpful in resolving problems, for example, managing conflict, handling grievances, finding alternative strategies, and so on. And you hold meetings to come to a decision on important matters, for example, obtaining authorization, consulting members about issues, choosing options, deciding on policies, and deciding collectively about issues. Let's have a look at the different types of meetings. There are many different types of meetings ranging from board meetings to problem-solving meetings. For the purpose of this section, meetings will be categorized under the three broad areas, namely formal meetings, informal meetings, and semi-formal meetings. Let's begin with formal meetings. Formal meetings are meetings that are highly structured and discuss official matters such as departmental or organizational progress reports, issues of strategic importance, or negotiating contracts, to name but a few. These meetings occur on a regular basis whereby the dates are generally established well in advance. A chairperson chairs the meetings and the secretary records important discussions and decisions taken. Examples of formal meetings include staff meetings, board of directors, advisory board, heads of departments, executive committee meetings, parliamentary meetings, and so on. We can now move on to informal meetings. Unlike formal meetings, the content of informal meetings generally relates to operational issues rather than predominantly strategic issues. Teams or subcommittees would discuss issues related to the progress of activities, meeting of deadlines, ways to solve problems that have just arisen, give feedback, and share information. A facilitator would generally chair the meeting, whilst a scribe would record important discussions and actions. The roles that people would perform in informal meetings would generally be rotated. Semi-formal meetings. Semi-formal meetings would be a combination of both formal and informal meetings. Committees would generally meet on a regular basis to monitor the progress of projects or programs. Operational and strategic issues would be discussed where suggestions to improve the status of the situation would be provided. Now that you have a clearer understanding of the different types of meetings that are held, we can discuss the minutes of the meetings. Most companies have a specific format for taking minutes, and it will be worth your while to familiarize yourself with this format. The minutes of a meeting are set up in a similar way to the agenda, the exception being that they are more detailed, covering the points discussed in the meetings as well as the actions which need to take place and who is responsible for each specific action. The general content of minutes will be as follows. They will list the date and venue where the meeting was held, record the participants who were present as well as those who were absent. They will reflect who facilitated or chaired the meeting. They will confirm whether the minutes of the previous meeting were approved and record the main points and decisions taken for all the items discussed. Now, what are the functions of the office administrator with regards to meetings? The office administrator should possess effective verbal and written communication skills, as well as a reasonable understanding of the issues being discussed. The role of the secretary is to record the main discussions and decisions and will not be expected to participate unless specifically requested to do so by the chairperson. The office administrator should perform the following duties. Before the meeting takes place, distribute the notices of meetings well in advance, request and include additional items of the agenda in liaison with the chairperson. Send copies of the agenda to all members of the meeting along with any supporting documentation. Organize the logistical arrangements for the meeting. These arrangements include the meeting venue, refreshments, meals, flip chart stand, overhead projector, transport and accommodation for all delegates. Remember to check and double check that all arrangements have been met prior to the meeting taking place. There is nothing worse than your boss calling you during the meeting to inform you that you have forgotten something. Next, the task to be completed during the meeting. Remember, the secretary does not participate in the discussions of the meeting. He or she may, however, be requested to summarize the discussions. It is very likely that you may be required to record the important discussions and decisions taken during the meeting. Finally, the tasks required after the meeting. As far as possible, write up the minutes as soon as possible after the meeting. This will not only ensure that what was discussed during the meeting is fresh in your memory, but in the memory of the participants of the meeting too. Ask the chairperson to approve the minutes before they are circulated to all the members. If there are any people who are responsible for follow-up activity from the meeting, remind them of the activity as well as a deadline date for such activity. Finally, begin planning and preparing for the next meeting. You will need to do it all again. Now that you have a clear understanding of what is expected of you when organizing meetings for your firm, let's have a look at how to go about the effective and efficient writing of minutes. Minutes are the official, unbiased record of what was discussed and decided on in a meeting. They are extremely important as they describe what actions have been decided upon in a meeting, as well as who is responsible and the agreed deadlines. They also record a summary of discussions which have taken place at the meeting. Usually, the secretary records the minutes and is able to take notes quickly, accurately, and logically. All minutes should be written as soon as possible after the meeting. And remember to construct your minutes in the past tense. In short, minutes should be a very brief summary of what actually happened in the meeting. If it was a small group that attended the meeting, record all the names of those who attended. If it was a larger group, be sure to record the names of the chairperson, secretary, and office bearers. Within the minutes which you have created, it needs to be clear who must fulfill certain agreed upon tasks. Finally, the minutes should be kept simple, brief, display the accurate use of grammar and spelling, and be proofread before being sent to the participants of the meeting. That brings us to the end of our module covering legal work. Please complete your short assessment on the platform now.